Filming with an Olympian isn't just about capturing their training, it's about documenting their grit, resilience, and in this case, her approach to hydration. Today, I'm gonna take you behind the scenes on my shoot with Dom Scott, an Olympic runner from South Africa, for my shoot for HydraPack, showcasing this marathoner's approach to hydration. Let's dive in. Hey, I'm Rue. I'm an adventure filmmaker and photographer based in Boulder, Colorado, and although I am sitting in this studio reflecting on this experience after the fact, a lot of what you'll be seeing will be on the ground while I'm filming with Dom, so don't worry, we'll get out of these four walls soon. But a good shoot starts with preparation. Filming with an elite athlete means working around their schedule. These professional runners and climbers and skiers have a very specific training regimen that they have to follow, and filming, although very fun for us, is another added thing they have to balance in their schedule. So we only had a limited amount of time with Dom to capture this short video for HydraPack to showcase her approach to hydration. Now for the marathon, it's a really crucial part of success or something.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
In the 10,000 meters, I really didn't need to hydrate.
So for this project, we weren't necessarily focusing on Dom's backstory or her approach to training. We were really focusing on her approach to hydration and how HydraPack's products fit into that.
That's a skill in itself.
We started the day at Dom's house. As a filmmaker, I think it's really important when you're meeting people for the first time to not have the cameras rolling. If someone notices it, they'll comment.
Yeah, and then they engage
it's like, you get engagement, yeah.
But then Roxy's got to address all those comments.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're saving Roxy's time.
Yeah, it's like, what's the small thing that you can do that doesn't make you look unprofessional, but it's something people comment. Like the nails are cool, right?
Yeah.
You're I should do that with my nail. It's I want to be a person first, and I think when you have cameras rolling, that creates a very strange environment from the beginning. So I'm always making sure to be very gracious for letting us into her home, introducing myself, learning about her, telling her a little bit about me, so she understands who it is that's going to be capturing her for the day. This, of course, applies in this situation with Dom Scott, but I think it's also really important to extrapolate this farther and think, hey, as filmmakers, our job, of course, is to tell people's story, but in order to tell people's story, we have to know who they are a little bit, and we have to talk about things unrelated to filmmaking and be a person. Really diss on your sister, too. Yeah, my sister's just super not fast. Like all of you, I'm fast. I have been training for ultramarathons, and I love running, and so hearing about Dom's approach to training for the marathon was such a treat. And chatting more about the mileage she's running, her stretching routines, and all of these little nitty-gritty details that go into being a professional athlete is something I love to geek out on. So that was something we chatted about before we even started filming. Thankfully, on this shoot, it wasn't just me and Dom. We had a couple people from HydraPack there as well to oversee and make sure we were getting everything that we had planned on. This was actually really helpful for me because my job in this situation is to make the best video for HydraPack. And if HydraPack is there guiding me and assisting me to telling me what the best story is for them, I was able to execute that even better. This approach carries all the way through into the editing process, but we'll get there in a second. After we had filmed a little bit in the kitchen, we migrated to the living room. HydraPack wanted a centered-on talking head shot just like the one you're seeing right now, of her addressing the camera, because this is going to be more of an explainer type of video showcasing how hydration fits into her life so that some of HydraPack's potential customers can see how it fits into theirs. There's a time and a place for an off-camera interview setting like some of the ones that you've seen in my past videos, but this wasn't the style that we were going for, so we decided to shoot it head-on in her living room. In this interview, most of my initial questions had nothing to do with HydraPack or any hydration products. It was more to understand her life as a runner. When it comes to creating these short films for brands, I think it's important to balance branding and marketing. Branding is who the brand is and what they have to say. Marketing is showing these products and how we can sell those products to potential customers. Based on just what I was kind of reading before, it was what is the problem that HydraPack solves? Right? Because before you're kind of using a making change.
Yeah, and maybe that's what I can talk about.
Yeah. If a video is very branded heavily, it may not be able to translate to direct sales for a specific product, but it will draw more people into that customer base, which is helpful. But in this case, we also wanted to market a specific product, the Tempo bottle. This is a new bottle that was designed by HydraPack and is great for marathon runners, and so they really wanted to showcase this specific bottle. So when it comes to creating a short video like this, I think it's important to balance how much is branding and how much is marketing. In the initial opening of the video, it's kind of branding heavily. It's explaining who Dom is, what her approach is to running, and what type of potential customers might resonate with her story. Later on in the video, we get deep into the marketing side as she addresses tempo and the bottle and how it fits her needs specifically. The reason I'm explaining all of this is because when we're sitting down for an interview, I think it's important to make sure that we're capturing both. This is a short piece where I don't have time to dive deep into all of the history of Dom's life as a runner, her experience at the Olympics, or running in the 10K for South Africa. It was mostly just about her transition from the 10K to the marathon and how hydration is now a big part of her training routine. Once we were done with filming inside and we were feeling good about the questions that were asked and the responses that were given, we decided to break out of her house and go running. This is the type of environment that I feel like I especially love because I think it's so fun to follow these professional athletes and do what they are doing. This also meant filming an elite athlete doing what she has been training her entire life to do, which is to go run. This was a really special experience because this was the final day of the Paris 2024 Olympics, which Dom was not running in, but we were filming at a similar time. So sports and the Olympics were on my mind. And there was something really special about filming an Olympian during the time the Olympics were taking place. It was playing on her TV when we walked in. In filming with Dom, although it was short, it was a pretty remarkable feeling to capture somebody whose whole life has been dedicated to this one sport. This wasn't just about capturing her physical feats, although Dom Scott's speed and running form was incredible. It was about capturing the spirit that drives her. When you watch an Olympian train, you see more than the athlete. You witness their grit, resilience, and the thousands of hours behind the scenes that the world never gets to see. For me, filming Dom was an honor. It wasn't just about the running or the shots we captured, it was about telling a story of passion and perseverance. Seeing her push through some of the difficulties of training and seeing the care that she puts into every aspect of her preparation, I started to realize that the sport is something that really unites all of us. The worlds can feel divided, but running and this sport has an incredible way of bringing people together. From this random street in Boulder that we were filming on to a stadium in Paris that was happening at the same time. Everyone understands the dedication it takes to chase a dream. And in that pursuit, we see a reflection of ourselves. We see the best of what we can be. This project was more than just another film for me. It was a reminder of the power of storytelling in sport and how it can bridge divides and inspire us to keep pushing forward together. Nutrition and hydration and stretching are all just a small part of this pursuit to be better. And that's what HydroPack I think was really going for in this, is showcasing, hey, in order to be an elite runner like Dom, you have to focus on hydration. It's an important part of the marathon.
That was awesome!
And watching Dom run and watching the Olympics and seeing all of this happen at the same time, I think this project for me kind of expanded beyond what it was that we were shooting, and it felt a little bit more personal for me as what can I do to be a better version of myself? Because for professional athletes, it's these small details that make such a big difference. Race day is obviously where all of the attention gets put on. But on some afternoon in late summer when we were filming this was another run for Dom.
We are doing some shots from the truck. This is how films get made, is often from the back of trucks. So we are just gonna be driving along while Dom runs so fast, and I am on the 85mm, so we can get really tight shots of her face and her arms and her ripping the bottles off, ripping the tapes off of the bottle. So yeah, good things to come. I'm actually gonna let the hair down because it's adventure time.
Dom is going to be running hundreds of miles before her next marathon, and a lot of that work gets done in silence. And so when it came to putting all this film together, this was a small video. We were hoping to showcase an elite athlete and her approach to hydration.
All right, Brad, whenever you're ready.
We weren't diving into a full story on her and her Olympic experience, so when we cut it down, this was a really fun collaboration between me and the team at HydroPack to get something that really fit their needs. It's important to have these collaborative moments to understand that you are delivering a product to a brand that has a need for it. Which is why I always think it's important to have multiple rounds of feedback to make sure that they are getting a product that is absolutely in line with what they need.
Hi, I'm Dom Scott. I am a professional distance runner for Adidas, representing my home country of South Africa. I currently live in Boulder, Colorado, and I'm training for the marathon. So the day before the marathon, I prepare my bottles because you need to have. I'm Dom Scott. I am a professional distance runner for Adidas, representing my home country of South Africa. I currently live in Boulder, Colorado, and I'm training for the marathon distance. I grew up playing all the sports that were available to me, but my true love was always running. Running has given me so much in my life.
And now, after the shoot is over, I always like to reflect and think, what could I have done better? What worked? What didn't? Because this is my job, is to make films about professional athletes, whether they're skiers or climbers or runners or marathoners or cyclists or surfers. Regardless of how it is that you exercise in the outdoors, I love to capture it. And I think reflecting on the experience and thinking about what we can do better is how we ultimately improve and grow as filmmakers. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed a fun little behind the scenes look at what it was like filming and running with an Olympian, even for a short bit of time. I'll see you in the next video. Have the best day ever.